일본의 사례와 같이 유럽에서도 MGMC를 비롯한 다양한 스마트 건설 기술이 현장에서 자주 사용이 된다고 합니다. 네, 다음은 유럽 사례로 본 실용적 예시와 교훈을 통한 가장 스마트한 건설 방법이라는 주제로 파시 요엔수 인프라킷 부사장님의 발표가 있겠습니다. 네, 파시 요엔수 부사장님 단상으로 모시도록 하겠습니다. 여러분 큰 박수로 맞이해 주십시오.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Cho, thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be here today and share with you some studies in Europe and actually what is really happening in Europe. Briefly about me, Pasi, JOENSUU is my name. You may call me Pasi. And I have been in construction industry since my graduation in 1990, so hundreds of years ago, in different roles. And last 8 years I've been working for a company called Infrakit. And our work is to digitalize infra construction worksite. So that's why it's very well connected what you're doing here in Korea. And in my daily business, I work with companies from all over the world. I just checked my notes, and last 4 meetings before coming to Korea, I had a phone call to Australia, to Spain, to Hungary, and a meeting in Finland. So, when we are facing problems, what are we doing? We try to solve them. And when individual people in a construction process start to solve problems, what happens? We have multiplied solutions. And today, everybody is talking about digitalization. So all our problems are related to digital. And we end to this situation. So we have tens of softwares in our use. And the problem with these solutions is not that they are not working, they work. But the problem is that they are not working together. And to understand that situation, let's go back a little bit. So everybody talks about data today. And what is data? Data is needed, and somebody says data is a new code. But if you don't know what you're searching, you get lost, and data becomes white noise. So data is good, but even more than data, we need information. We need to know what are we looking for, why, and for what purpose. And when we collect data from different sources, we get insights. We get this information from here, that information from there, and more from here. So we need to have a place where we connect that information and create insights. Typically, in European worksite, that connecting spot is something here in the middle. And normally, it's a person. It's a surveyor, BIM coordinator, BIM manager, however you want to call that person. And there is no problem at the time when that person is there. But when the person is missing, we got a problem. Because the spot is empty. So we are creating silos between digital tools when we are solving our problems. That's the first challenge, and that's the first silos. So we have silos also between our HQs, offices, and field. If I work at the field and I need some information from my HQ, I need to know whom to call, or I need to know whom to send an email. And then I get reply, but my colleague didn't get. So I have information he or she don't have. And the biggest source of errors still today is what? Do you know? What causes the most errors at the work site still today? Different revision of designs. And come on, we are in the 21st century. Still the same that it was 90s. And here again we have silos between consultants, owners and contractors. So instead of looking for only designs, only construction, only asset management, only pre-design, only something spot, we should look end-to-end process. Because only that way we understand that design itself is not the goal or objective. The new road is. So, what does this cause? I don't know in Korea, correct me, but this is global trend. 90% of our projects are over budget. In UK, recently, it is one of the biggest railway projects in Europe. It's several billions of pounds. They cancelled the funding because it was too expensive. Now I heard last week they found the money again. 80% of the project are overscheduled. This is the scary one. 70% of the companies will collapse. 70. As I told, I work in the European region, and I have seen several companies disappearing during the last 2 years. So, how to solve this? I just show you one use case a little bit deeper, then two a little bit not so deep. So, first case is a tram project in Finland. It was roughly about 500 million euro, and the length 25 kilometers. So, okay, yeah. So they used our platform, Infrakit. Infrakit is a platform that's open platform. You can connect anything to that platform. And we share the information and we collect as well data back. So they use Infrakit as a CDE, like common data environment. Then they use Infrakit for machine control. Infrakit is not a machine control platform, but Infrakit is a platform where machine control systems can be fed. So Infrakit, as far as I know, is still the only platform that can handle Trimble, Topcon, Leica, and all the machine control system data flow. Design in, data to machine, and as-built documentation from machine back. And they had connected more than 100 excavators to Infrakit. So again, real-time quality check. In this Japanese presentation, by the way, I really liked it, thank you. One of the topic was that real-time information needs to get back. So Infrakit was used for that purpose on that project. Designs, drawings, PDFs, everything to one platform for everybody to see and use. Our first ground rule when we start to work with our customers is no more email updates. They are banned. Only information is in Infrakit, and we say that if it's not in Infrakit, it doesn't exist. Situational awareness and work progress follow. So this was used heavily for managers because this project was inside the city area. How to handle pedestrian crossings and traffic arrangements. Every week they flew with the drones and used that auto photos for the planning. drone technology was integrated to Infrakit. So auto photos, 360 photos, aerial photos, all these were there. Typically, when we fly with drones, so drone operator has the data, but the problem is how to share that data to everybody. And with Infrakit, it works. Then we have an application called Infrakit Feed. We call it Designs in your Pocket. So it was used for site personnel. So all the drawings, what they needed to take photos, was in the field application as well. So like this, I don't know how to call this, tramline, it's electrical wires. They could get all the information in there. They didn't need to go to office or call someone to send latest designs. It was there already. I'm a surveyor by my background, land surveyor. And there are tens, maybe hundreds of times that we left from office to go to field, and then we got a phone call that the new revision of your design came just. So back 5 kilometers to bring the new one. That saves a lot of time when you get update to your phone directly. Digital handover material. If we have problems in construction site, in digitalization, we have much more problems in handing over phase than maintenance asset management phase. Because frankly, most of the customers for infra projects are cities, municipalities, governments, and they are tied also to archive laws. Like in Finland, my country, that I consider one of the most digitalized countries in construction. Our archive law still only knows paper documents. There is no law that talks about models. But when you have everything stored in one place, whether you need to print out paper documents or PDFs or models, whatever you need, it's in one place and it's easy to share. So all these things, Infrakit was used. And if you want to guess what was the biggest result for that project, it was supposed to get open this year, August, for public transportation. It was opened last year, October 1st. So 10 months ahead of schedule. I don't know, frankly, I don't know the financial benefit, but if you calculate 200 people not working 10 months, it's quite a significant savings. I had my personal customer maybe 7 years ago. They had half of that site, similar project. It was 260 million euro. They saved 35 million euro on that project. So this was double. So, when we are doing, and I really admire the work you are doing in Korea and in Japan for automated machines, that is definitely the future. But already today, we can gain lots of savings at the work sites. I saw 30%, 30+% of savings. I will show you after a few slides how much we can prove savings today. But this was one project. And we have another customer, it's called Heijmans, it's in the Netherlands. They wanted to test Infrakit platform 10 years ago. And they had 4 chief surveyors at one work site. One was handling Topcon machines. It's a Japanese brand for machine control and surveying instruments. One for Triple, one for Leica, and one for all the other measurements. So 4 surveyors. If you think salary with all the site costs, roughly 150,000 euro a year, so 600 euro salaries for a year, roughly. They tested our platform 3 weeks. And they called us, we want it now. And my colleague, Dutch colleague, asked, why? What made you to make your decision so fast? The supervisor said that we realized that we don't need those 4 guys in the site. 1 is enough. We can send those 3 others, other work sites where we need them. So instead of paying 600,000 a year for salaries, they pay now 150. I get a lot of these questions, how you measure the savings that you get from when you have digital platforms. It's very difficult to say exactly where the savings come from. But we have lots of stories like this. Today, we have the same problem in Finland and every European country that in Japan. Maybe I think your decrease is faster. But we have the same direction. And there are lots of people asking, okay, but what about my job in 10 years? Will I have a job? Will robots take my job or will automation take my job? I would say if you are good in your job, it will not go anywhere. You are needed. But you need to update your knowledge. You need to stay in a right level to know what to do. And the other one, this is a French company called Colas. It's pretty big. I think their annual revenue is some 14-16 billion euros. We started our first project with them in 21, so 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And they use, at some project, machine automation. Because this is also one of the questions I get a lot. Do we need to have machine automation in place before we can do something? No, you don't need. You can start today. So in some projects they are using machine automation, some not. We have now today 5 countries we are working with them, and one of them is in Africa, 4 in Europe. And now they just began earlier this year, biggest partner for us already. So they are investing heavily now into digitalization. They recently acquired a company from Finland because of digitalization level. So that is a trend when you start to go towards digitalization. You need to invest in the beginning, but you get savings fast to cover your cost, and then it will be also money in your pocket soon. You just need to know how to do it. Easy. So if you are interested in reading these cases, I just put some links here. Sorry, in your paper, they are just, you cannot use the link, you can type it. If you just go to infrakit.com, you will find all these links there. So what we have learned, the most important decision and the most difficult decision is to start. Because most of us, we are engineers. We want to identify the problem, we want to solve it, and we want to go on. But like one of my colleagues I met in Japan in my previous visits, he said that, Pasi, this problem is something we cannot solve. It is a train that is moving and we need to jump in. And that is difficult. Yes, it is. But if you don't make that decision, like if you see and understand the elevator will take you to 50th floor, that is good to know and understand, but if you don't get into the elevator, you will not get there. Second, it's not difficult to get savings. That is not difficult. It's not a hocus pocus either. It doesn't happen. You need to know what to do. But that is not difficult. The difficult thing is how you get your organization on board. Because when we start to work with some project, we get normally a project where people are enthusiastic, they want to try something new. They want to develop themselves. So that's pretty easy, because they have motivation. But when a company wants to make a rollout, to start to use digital tools in all the projects, then there's no question whether I want or don't want. Individuals have to. So there's resistance. That's the difficult thing. That's why also in Infrakit we created this 4 steps program. All the customers, when they start to work with us, the first step is to get all the data in one cloud. Doesn't matter whether it's 2D or 3D, but that's the focal point of all the information. Second step is then model-based construction. And that is where your automated machines will come. You said that in Japan, now you want to go to all 3D. So basically you are going here. But then after that is scalable construction. This means that selected projects are in digital model. This means that everything, every single project, small and big, and data-driven construction, that is the highest step we can understand today. It means that if you have a construction company, or in a Korea Expressway, for instance, all your decisions are made on the data you get from the sites. And as per today, we can provide to your C-level people status from all the projects. Let's say that projects today, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, you have all the data. Does that help decision making? I would say that in all occasions it doesn't. Because the more information you get, the more problems you face. When you don't have information enough, it's easier to make a decision. Is it right or wrong? That's another question. But every single C-level individuals I have interviewed has told that they don't get information fast enough. We can prove how it can be made. Construction company-wise, I know 2 companies in global scale that are here. I would say that 90% of companies are taking this first step today. All the others are somewhere between. But that's the only way if you want to make it successful. Step by step. I hear lots of talking about 4D, 5. Actually, I have a slide for that, so let's not go there yet. If you wish to use 4D, 5D, 6D, whatever XD, remember, 3D comes before 4D. I have discussed a lot with designers, with universities, and almost everybody is looking 3D as it should be somewhere. We don't talk about it, we talk about fancy things. Yes, and it's good. Somebody needs to talk about those. But don't hold your breath until finally it's here at the worksite in use. Because designing softwares create so fancy designs that they are beautiful. They are very nice to look. But when I ask this question, how do you take this fancy design to worksite? Most common answer is PDF. Come on. Can we make a decision? Let's forget PDFs. Let's talk about models. Because PDF is just a piece of paper. Or then we should forget these fancy designing tools. Remember one of my first slides, designing construction boundary. It should be flowing. If you solve one problem at a time, when you go from small problems towards bigger ones, you remember what you get? Remember, all these softwares solve things. It's not a question about that. But the problem is that they create, by solving one problem, they create two other ones. Just recently I had a question with one construction company called me, and Pasi, we are looking for BIM software. I said, are you looking just BIM software to see something at the work site? Yes. Okay, then Infrakit is not your tool. He asked me why. I said that if you are looking BIM software today, is your surveyor calling me tomorrow, I need something to survey this? He said, maybe. Check with him, and also what managers need. Let's face together what you need. And if one of those three needs also something, then we can talk about Infrakit. Because we put Infrakit here in the middle. And now, these designing softwares sends data to Infrakit. And we share data to other softwares. That's how we cut these boundaries and break those silos between softwares. When I was a surveyor, I just needed AutoCAD, I think it was number 10 or something like that. And I had top on total station. That was all I needed, and piece of paper. And calculator. But today, you have tens of softwares. When I call to some work site that, okay, what if you use Infrakit? We have already 10 softwares, we don't want any more. So that is how it looks like. Designer puts design to Infrakit, and we share it to automated machines, if you have them, to site managers, site people, surveyors, and when the work goes, we give data back to Infrakit. So we have designs there, we have as-built documentation in the one platform, so it means quality assessment can be done in real time. If you have a project in Busan, you can make your quality assessment in Seoul, in real time. Just for as an example. So this is digitalization at its best. You don't have to put your feet to every place where you have work. If you like traveling, then go, but you don't have to do it. Sixth, only way to make process constant and successful is to start from platform, from top down. You need to ensure, and also you need to ensure that your platform talks different languages. So Infrakit doesn't support native language. We work with Building Smart, so we support IFC, we support LandXML, that are global standards for open data. Yes, because in the 2D world, DWG, DXF also are like standards, that's why we support them. And only because we have a Trimble representative here in machine controls, in Trimble we need to use native language to push the data in, because you will support open data at some day. Okay. That was too fast. There it is. So in Korea, I'm sure that there's Building Smart. Yeah. So talk to them and create and develop your open data process with Building Smart. Technology is easy. It's ones and zeros. It's hard or soft. People need to take care of it. Make the construction process as a part of your organization core process. Don't think it's just going out, coming in, and your process is inside. No, it's part of it. Money counts. So don't leave yourself between two worlds. One is in digitalization, one is in old. Because then you will have a problem when those worlds separate. And you pay two costs. And finally, the faster the process, the better chance to be successful. Biggest obligation for digital process is that it takes too long time. So that's why 90% of digitalization processes fails, says McKinsey. All right. So finally, outcomes. And this is the unexpected outcome that we can already show that we can save emissions. This supports what you said. 20% of savings we can do already today. And 80% of our customers finishes on time or earlier. So that is digitalization today in Europe, in part of Europe. So tomorrow what I expect is that we need universities, definitely the studies and what you're doing here, we need that. We need innovations, we need young people in the industry, we need investments, we need sustainable technologies. So all these things, please continue and make this world better. And Infrakit, our vision is sustainable infra construction industry. That's the core why we work. While we digitalize the process, we get more sustainable industry. So we have a roadmap for future, but that you can see in there. And some other links. And just for your information, if you are interested in Infrakit services in Korea, so we have a representation here in Korea. So talk to Expander, or you can call to me as well. There's my information is in here. Thank you very much.
네, 유럽의 스마트 건설 적용 사례에 대해 알 수 있었던 발표였습니다. 수고해주신 파시 요엔수 인프라킷 부사장님께 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.